Sound design is one of the most important parts of a YouTube video, and failing to execute it properly can be the difference between a video that gets high retention versus one that doesn't. That's why I'm going to break down the 3-pillar guide big creators use to make their audio so addictive that viewers can't click off. By the end of this video, you will know what makes a good sound design on YouTube, simple tips and tricks you can use to improve your own, and the system I use that saves me hours when adding sound effects and music to my own videos. But before I tell you about the 3 pillars, you need to understand why audio has such an impact on viewers. See, way back when film was first invented, we didn't have the technology to record our audio yet. This is referred to as the silent era, and it's where we see famous actors such as Charlie Chaplin and Buster Keaton. But whilst these films were extremely innovative for the time, they lacked something very important: immersion. Being able to get someone so engaged in a film that the world around them literally faded away was something that could only be done by the most skilled of directors. But now, it has become something anyone can do. And that's because of one simple thing: sound design. Both sight and hearing are the most used human senses, and when filmmakers are able to tap into both of these, they are able to create an almost lifelike experience for the viewer, one that gets them hooked. Without good audio, it is extremely hard to engage viewers, because you can't create the experience that keeps them so dialed in. And that's why it's so crucial you have a good sound design, because even the smallest of hiccups can break that immersion. And that is a retention killer. But I'm going to reveal a way that you can stop this from ever happening to you again. In this first pillar, I will show you something that 90% of video editors screw up, and it costs them thousands of viewers. Pillar 1 is to choose relevant music. The most common mistake video editors make with music is that they don't have a systemized approach. They edit their videos, chuck in some random music that kinda fits, and export. But they're missing a crucial step, because adding good music isn't the same as adding the right music. Music may not necessarily set the tone of the video, but it is what regulates it. And that's why I'm going to show you the 3-step system I use to make sure I choose the right background music for my videos. And make sure you listen to all of them, because the 3rd step is often ignored. It can end up being what makes or breaks a video. Step 1 is to figure out the emotion. For example, if I want my video to feel intense or dramatic, I may add some epic orchestra or fast violins. But if I want my video to feel sad, I might add some classical piano songs. You need to nail the emotion. Without it, the rest of the system falls apart. Step 2. Add the music. Find a few songs that match the emotion you're going for and add them to the project. Pick the song you think will best fit and put it in the timeline. You should do this before you add any sound effects or visual effects. As I said earlier, music regulates the tone of your video, so you want to put it on your timeline as early as possible. That way, you can edit everything else around that tone. Finally, you'll go on to step 3, which is the part most people skip. Naturally, you see your music on the timeline, assume it's finished, and move on to the next task. And that's the problem. Your background music isn't a preset, it's a mold. Think of it like clay. You don't just put it there and hope it works, you manipulate it, stretching and folding until it fits just right. And the same goes for music. Adjust the music so it perfectly fits the story. Otherwise, it's just some generic background music the editor chucked on at the end of his shift. The system I just laid out is what will turn your videos from info dumps to experiences the viewer cannot live without. But here's the problem. Music alone isn't what creates an addictive sound design. And next, I'm going to show you exactly what separates good videos from viral videos, and the secret method professional video editors use to make it impossible for viewers to click off. Pillar 2 is about creating sound effects that are visually satisfying. But before I show you this trick, you need to understand the purpose of sound effects and what separates good ones from bad ones. The most common misconception among new video editors is that sound effects just exist to match what happens on screen. But whilst they are good at doing that, there are better ways to use them. If you want to use sound effects in a way that makes your videos more addictive and drives attention up, you need to think differently. Don't just go, okay, how can I make this sound effect match what's happening on screen? Think more in depth. What you should be saying is, right, how can I make these sound effects make what's happening on screen feel visually satisfying? What can I do to make this video feel like something that's smooth and modern, rather than some lecture you probably watched in high school? When it comes to sound effects, the difference between the best, cream of the crop video editors and the random CapCut users on TikTok is this principle. Sound effects exist to amplify the video, not serve it. So when you stop doing the bare minimum, you'll see a drastic uptake in video quality. And if you don't believe me, look at this YouTuber, Callaway. Pay attention to his sound effects.
I have 1 million followers, I've done billions of views. And when I study personal brands and the behavior I ran myself, there is a clear pattern.
Notice how they not only match what's happening on screen, but feel satisfying and add depth to the video. But this is where another pitfall begins to arise. How can I do this? This can become a problem, and trust me, I know. I've been there before as well, but there's a way to fix it. If there is anything you take away from this video, make it this. Because not only will it amplify your video's quality and retention, but it will make it quicker and easier to add sound effects to your videos. What you need to do is to stop looking for the right sound effect. There is always a perfect sound effect out there, but by the time you find it, it just won't be worth it, because then you will have to find the next perfect sound effect. So instead, find a sound effect that's close enough and adjust it to your needs. I suggest using either the parametric equalizer or the tone shifter. From there, you simply adjust, listen, and repeat until you've got the sound effect you want. And rather than going through this same process every time, just save the sound effects. Load up another project and chuck them in. You'll thank me later. But music and sound effects aren't just what makes up a good sound design. Because even though your videos will be higher quality, they'll still lack something. Polish. For that, you'll need the next pillar, which will give you a method that's so easy and simple that you can practically do it with your eyes closed. Pillar 3 is to add clean dialogue. Now, we can all go around saying we want or we have clean dialogue, but what does that actually mean? Well, it's really just measured by two simple things: hearability and device versatility. We'll start with the first one, because you can't accurately measure the second without doing the first. Obviously, you'll have to adjust the volume of your sound effects and music, but something most people skip is a simple effect I like to use that makes my dialogue sound a lot cleaner. Most human voices sit in the midtones, so if you can effectively remove that from your music, your dialogue should sound a lot cleaner. But how can I do that? In 5 seconds. Take the de-esser effect, add it to your music, click edit and drag it apart so it cuts out the midtones. And if you're wondering, this is what your audio sounds like without de-esser, and this is what it sounds like with it. And now that you've done that, you can effectively test your audio's versatility. The problem with a lot of videos is that they sound good while you're editing it with a headset on, but the moment someone watches it on a phone or a laptop, it doesn't sound as good anymore. So before you export your video, just unplug your headset or transfer it to your phone. Test it with a few different devices that are known to have YouTube. That way you can verify that your video sounds good to viewers who watch YouTube in all different ways. If you focus your effort on these 3 pillars, your videos will be a lot higher quality. But sound design isn't the only important part of a YouTube video. Most editors and creators have hundreds of different methods and tricks they use to create good videos. And one of their best tricks is to be constantly learning. The people that rise to the top and stay there are the ones that devote a large chunk of their time to learning new and improved ways to keep viewers watching. And that's exactly what I'm doing with this channel. I have wanted to be a YouTuber since I was 8 years old, and ever since then I have been watching, learning, and even editing videos of my own. So if you want to become a better creator, storyteller, or video editor, then subscribe, because I will be uploading all my learnings along the way.